Just so you know, I am not a professional, but I know things. Alright, today we are going to learn how to replace backlights in an LED TV. You can see just the top right corner of that TV is still backlit. These are the tools you'll need: new lights, screwdrivers, pry tools, jeweler's set, and that drill just came right out of my beard. Boom. Alright, first thing we're going to do is remove the screws and this back panel here. Here we go. Zoop, zoop, zoop. All the way around. Make sure you keep these screws in a safe place. Next thing we're going to do is remove these two metal brackets here. These brackets are used to give stability to the legs when it's not mounted on the wall. Take those off. Make sure you keep everything together and organized to make sure when you put everything back together, it's easy. All right. Next step, we're going to remove these speakers. So on this TV, we have to unplug it from the circuit board first. Right there, you can see it, that just pulls out. And then these little things just kind of pop right off. They're flexible and easy to do. You pop that little tabby thing out, do both sides, and the speakers come right off. Remove that tape so the wires come out. Boom, and then neatly set those aside. Now we're going to take off these two ribbon cables. It's pretty easy to do, just kind of small and fragile. So just be careful while you do this. You'll see you just kind of pop the little tab on the connector. I'll show you right here, and put your fingernail or something like that in there. Pop that little tab up, and then it'll slide right out of that connector. Just like that. Alright, just pull this IR sensor out. No screws, nothing holding that in. Don't need to remove it, just leave it dangling there. Now we're going to carefully remove these circuit boards along the bottom. They're taped in with like a metallic tape. On this TV they were anyway. You want to keep that tape because it's needed for reinstall. It's kind of like a ground. And they were stuck on. So I used these plastic pry tools to carefully get the circuit boards off of the sticky, and you're just going to let them dangle down for now. Next step is to remove the outside frame carefully using a flathead screwdriver. Boom. This one's cleaner. Looks like it did not come out of my beard this time. You're just going to carefully go around the outside and pop these out. Be careful though, if you do it wrong, you'll actually break these little plastic tabs that hold it in. I definitely broke some off, but not enough to hurt anything. It still got back on there in the end. And just go all the way around and then carefully remove that frame and set it to the side. Okay, now we're just going to flip the TV over so that the front is facing up. You'll want to be careful because all the exposed stuff on the back. Also try to do it in a way that you're not sliding it around on its back. You just set it down gently on a soft, cushy, fluffy surface, just like that. And then get ready a spot to put the screen because things are about to get real. First thing, we're going to take those circuit boards you pried off that are still connected. We're just going to gently tape them to the screen. As you'll see, they're connected there by a ribbon cable, and when we remove the screen, they're going to go with it. So I use masking tape, put a little on there, make sure you're able to get the masking tape off in the end. There's an inner frame too that holds the screen in there and filters and everything. In my case, the top and bottom edges were kind of permanently affixed to the screen, so I had to pop them off of like the TV casing, but they stayed attached to the screen, while the sides of the frame were not attached to the screen, so they were able to be fully removed. I needed help, to get the screen off, which we're about to do. You can also, if you have those suction cuppy things, 2 of them, you can do it by yourself. You probably do it by yourself without them. TVs are expensive, so I used help. Set that to the side. Next, you have several filters in here, and these come out pretty easily, but there are several of them. It's easier if you use masking tape to tape them all together so they don't slide apart and get weird. I just did opposing corners, slap some tape on here. Again, masking tape, and I made sure each end was kind of double back on itself so I could grab it and peel it off in the end without having to pick it off. Tape those 2 corners together, the whole thing will stay together, and then we just remove it and set it aside. Then we have this cool reflector sheet in the back. Now, I take mine all the way off. It's kind of stuck to the TV frame with stickies. I took the time to peel it all the way off. I've seen other people actually cut around the backlights because the backlights are white, so it's all the same. I elected to take it all the way off because I'm a freak like that. So just peel that bad boy right out of there or cut around the back. It's your choice. All right, now we're to the meat and potatoes of this. We're going to remove the old backlights. Each one is plugged in. These are the backlights for my specific TV, the 65-inch M series from Vizio. That part information is going to be in the description with a link to where you can buy it. If not, I recommend the Amazon store Shop Jimmy if you're doing any other TV. He's got all kinds of good stuff for the prices. But this is really simple. The old lights on my TV were screwed in. I had to unscrew them and they were sticky, so I had to peel them off. The new lights really just stick in there with like a sticky backing. Boom, I used a Sharpie right there. I found out after 2 or 3 strips that it's easier to mark where they are before you remove them, so the new ones are easy to ensure you get them in the correct location. Old, stick on the new, and plug them back in. Do that all the time. Fast forwarded right, but I did all the lights on the whole TV. Unplug them, take the old ones out, put the new ones in, and re-plug them back in. Now we reinstall this reflector sheet. It's real easy. If everything goes back to where it came out of, it'll fit right in. The lights will fit in the holes. Easy as pie. It just kind of re-sticks with the old sticky. Now we're going to pop the filters back in. Remove the tape. Make sure there's little pegs those filters have to fit in. And then we can put the screen in once we get the filters in. Very carefully with the screen. That fits back in. We have to install that inner frame. Top and bottom, like I said, are still attached on my TV. You just gotta click it back in and then install the sides. Just put it back in. I may have lied to you. Looks like the bottom didn't stay attached to the screen. That's not bad. Either way, that whole inner frame, top, bottom, and both sides needs to be reinstalled. Now we're just going to put it back together in the opposite order that we took it apart. There's the words, if you hate my voice and have me unmute. Undo those circuit boards, flip them down, put that outer frame on. And once you get that outer frame clicked in, you can put that IR sensor back in there too. That's what reads your remote control signal. Just clicking it back in. Those little tabs I told you might break off, you have to align those as you set it down. And everything clicks back into place. Alright, time to flip it back over. Start to put the back together. That outer frame on, checked it, made sure the IR sensor's in there. Now we're going to put these circuit boards back on. Put them back on there sticky. Put the ribbon cables back in and use that metallic tape we talked about to put back right where it came from so that it does its purpose correctly. Ribbon cables put back in. All the ribbon cables put back in. Now we have speakers. There we go, putting speakers back in. Easy day. Use those little rubber things. Make sure you put all the tape back, secure all those wires nicely, and plug them back into the circuit board. And we've got these brackets. So fun story about these brackets. What you see me doing right here is actually wrong. I put them in upside down the first time, which made later much harder. So make sure you put those on the same way they came on. Once everything's installed in there, we're just going to throw the back panel on with all of its screws, and you'll be done. Boom. See? Looks like I'm doing it right because those brackets are upside down. It's not. And we'll just pretend like it worked. Alright. It did work in the end. Success. You can see the TV right there. It's fully lit from the back all the way in all the corners. And we can now watch amazing shows again in high definition. Thank you. All the parts information, like I said, is going to be in the description. Use Shop Jimmy on Amazon. And Struggle Bus DIY is a Salty Ginger production. Boom.